Hey everybody, welcome to our first live. I am super excited. I am Jen Folk of Foulkin Around and um Traveling Folks as well, which is what we're under on YouTube. And I have with me today Devon Oman, and he is the owner of Dead Prairies Productions. And he is, first of all, I just want to say you are something else, Devon.
Thank you so much.
No, because when you sent me your bio and you were like, "Yeah, we give our proceeds to animal shelters," I'm like, "Oh." That's really awesome. You don't have many people that actually think about think about, giving back to communities, especially in the film industry. So you're a filmmaker, you write your own screenplays as well, is that correct?
Yeah, we film very low budget, cheesy horror films in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Um, the budgets range from like $50 to $300, and that's usually including like marketing, advertising, posters, tickets, and yeah, the budget for movies are usually around 150.
Nice. So so you are currently in the process of getting you have a, one that you're getting ready to film.
Yeah, so we're just wrapped up the Silver Scream, which is our 17th film. Um, I'm in an editing process for that one.
Uh-huh,
It takes it takes a long time for editing, even if it's like cheesy horror film or cheesy film,
uh-huh.
big productions, whatever. It still takes time. I know it might not look like it, but it does take a lot of time for editing. So I give credit to all the people out there for editors and filmmakers and people that are writers, all that stuff, because it's not an easy task, even though you're making a $50 budget film or $100 budget film.
Right.
So yeah, I'm editing that right now, and I'm just taking my time on it. And I wrote a 18th film actually. When I was editing this film, I wrote my other film in the process. So I was going back and forth. I was like editing one time, and then I
Mhm.
stop editing, and then I go write my 18th film, and then I go back to editing, and then back and forth. So
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I
it's
do
like a
that with
lot.
books. I do
Oh,
that
do
with
you?
books. I have, like, 2 books going at all times.
That's funny.
Whichever one gets done first is the one that gets published.
There you go. Yeah, I don't usually don't, but the idea for the 18th film was really fun, and I've been wanting to dive into it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna dive in, and then I got hooked writing it. So I just kept writing more and more.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote the 96 pages in those few days because I just like kept going with it, and I was like,
That's
this is
amazing.
awesome.
That's amazing. So if people wanted to find your movies, where can we find them at?
So you can find Dead Prairies Production Films on our Facebook and Instagram, and then we have like our own website. I wouldn't say website, I guess. It's a store. It's a PayHip store, and
Okay,
you can
how do
buy.
we get there?
So it's PayHip, and it's Dead Prairies Productions. So it's pretty easy. I have my link tree on my pages too. So like if you click that, you'll see all my pages and links. So it's pretty easy to contact that. If you can't find it, you can contact us too. So we're easy to track down. So
Oh, good. Yeah, and you're definitely on Facebook and everybody can find you there. It was easy to find you after I had met you through Adam.
yeah,
So, I'm trying to get this AIRIES.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm not
there
sure if
we
I can
go.
even write this. I can even write it down here, probably maybe.
Yeah, I'm mildly retarded at the moment, so it's this
Yeah.
is
No,
my first live in like forever. So
oh,
it's
really?
yeah, it's still like the last time I think I had a live was in like 2022.
Okay.
So where I'm relearning everything. But so give me some history, give me some backstory. What made you decide to do this and where do you find your people?
So a little bit of backstory before Dan Prairie Productions, even. I did like films when I was a kid. My parents bought myself like a video camera. It was like a family video camera, and I mainly used it. I think I used it more than most of my family. I'd
Mhm.
take it, I'd film my dogs, I'd film my action figures, I'd film just random stuff in my house. And then I started making these little short, cheesy films with my family, my brother, and I was like, this is fun. And then we did we did backyard wrestling as kids too. So me and my brother would do this backyard wrestling. We'd have the video camera and watching us wrestle because we're big wrestling fans. And yeah, after that, I went to high school. I met a few good friends, and I was like, wanted to do more stuff with like horror films. So I started making these cheesy $0 budget short films with my friends from high school,
Mhm.
and they're like killer puddle, killer door, just ridiculous ideas, killer Santa Claus. With zero budget, it was like zero nothing. We just find stuff around. We use my parents' basement or my grandma's basement, and that's how we started there. And then after
That's
high
great.
school, yeah, right. You just have to make it work, right?
Right.
I'm surprised that my parents were so chill to let me use my grandma's house and my their house too. They're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So after high school, I met a friend, Bob Taylor, and me and him connected quite well with the films and movies. So they're like, we started making short spoofs of horror films on YouTube. We'd make movies about Nightmare on Elm Street, Jaws, Friday 13th, Halloween, and once again, $0. So it was like just
Right.
cheesy as hell. Um, we'd have like a little baby kiddie pool for Jaws for parts of the movie, and yeah, swimming scenes we'd turn into action figures. We'd have action figures go into the pool, and we have a toy shark in that, and then we'd play ourselves as well. So it
That's
is ridiculous.
hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh my god. So, that's so cool though. Your family seemed to be very behind you.
Yeah, they were huge into the support of filmmaking and horror movies. Like, my parents were horror movie fans. I'd say my dad more,
Uh-huh.
but my mom loved like Stephen King books. She liked Alfred Hitchcock movies like Psycho and The Birds, more of
Oh,
those
yeah.
styles.
Yes.
And then my dad loved his Universal monsters and like slasher films like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface, all those guys. So I got my love for both genres there. My grandpa even would watch like monsters movies and Godzilla, King Kong. So I got my love from that too. It's yeah, my family was they were okay with it. I watched horror movies when I was a kid, even like very young age, probably like 4 or 5 even.
So they allowed it.
Yeah, they allowed it, but they taught me that it's fake. This is all
That's
fake. This is
good.
not reality. So I think that's what helped me allowing myself to watch them as a young age because I think a lot of people can't decide what's real, what's fake, kind of.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch horror movies when I was young.
Yeah,
So, I think my first horror film was Nightmare on Elm Street that I had
I
saw when I wasn't supposed to at my
yeah,
friend Jamie's house, and, oh my god, I was freaked out, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, this is crazy. Why am I watching this?" And of course, I was going to church, so I was like, "I'm gonna get possessed by the devil," all this crazy stuff, and, it was so funny because, as I grew older and once I became an adult and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna see how bad these movies really are." Like, I let my kids watch them, and the girls were like, "Nightmare on Elm Street is a comedy." I'm like, "How could you say that?" They were they were like, "Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street's no big deal, blah, blah, blah." So, I just thought that was very strange that they thought that it was like that, but um, so what about because, my love of it came from, the lore. I like the history about it. I like the lore of the story and how people and even some of the artistic and creative now this might make me sound like a psychopath. Some of the artistic and creative ways that people have come up with to die on screen. So, what was it about them that kinda drew you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually did like a news interview with because we did Terrifier 3 showing at our small theater nearby.
Yeah, I
And
like that movie.
it got a lot of attention because we had puke bags and that just for social
Just
media stuff.
because.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a good little thing. And then CTV or CBC Regina got a hold of that, and then they reached out to me like, "Hey, would you be down to do an interview about Terrifier 3 event and the puke bags and why obsession with horror movies that have like killings and the snuff films, basically call them the snuff films." So I was like, yeah, I'm down for it because I was like, I'm down. I'm gonna try to defend horror movies as much as I can. And yeah, I said it's more than just death and gore. I know Terrifier is known for the whole gory,
Yeah.
crazy death scenes, but if you looked at David Howard Thornton's acting, that was like Charlie Chaplin, Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean style.
He had 0 lines.
Phenomenal acting.
Yeah, he held that movie with 0 lines, and a lot of times, he's the only one in the scene.
Yeah, and he made it like, and that's why I said to the interviewer, like, it's more than just the gore. There's the whole team behind it putting so much time and effort into the special effects. You got David Howard Thornton playing Art the Clown that has the whole Charlie Chaplin, Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean thing.
Mhm.
The main girl, even, she is phenomenal. I thought she was really good. She's one of the better final girls I've seen in the last few years. I think she's a total badass.
Yeah, she is a real life badass too.
Right? I don't know.
She's a
She doesn't
black
seem.
belt in jujitsu.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
so
is a
maybe that.
badass. Yeah, she will
Legit.
definitely take someone out.
And it looked like it. I'm glad they made her character like quite strong and just took so much beating from Art the Clown, but it made her look strong. And I don't know, it just had that whole like Jamie Lee Curtis like never gave up fighting Michael
Yeah,
Myers, right?
yeah,
Is awesome. So I defended Terrifier because like I know a lot of people say Terrifier, Saw, Hostel, all those films are just like snuff porn stuff.
mhm,
I'm like, no, there's more to it, right? If you look behind the scenes.
and there is. And I'm not someone who I'm one of those people who I don't like the titty shots in the movies and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But in some cases, like when in especially in the I believe it was the first, yeah, it was the first Terrifier when he cut the chest off of that one homeless woman, yeah,
Oof.
and wore it along with her hair,
Yeah.
it was necessary. But, for me, I think it's I don't call it. I mean, I guess I don't understand why they call it snuff because it's not porn. Nobody's getting it on. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's
Or am
it's
I missing the definition of the snuff film?
no, like Hostel and Saw was like the big ones back a few years ago when they first got released. That was like a huge. People were
Mhm.
saying how that's just gore and torture and like nudity, and it's like Saw didn't really have nudity. Uh,
Right.
Hostel did obviously, but even then, Hostel, yes, the first half was more like the sex and nudity and whatever, and then the next half is like the torture. I still like Hostel. Like it's crazy that I still appreciate Hostel because of I know how much time and effort has put in that film. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that are putting a lot of their time into these films, and I give credit to these guys. Even if it's a low budget film or big budget film, it's a lot of work. Like I give a credit to
Yeah.
a lot of those people.
I can't even imagine just putting a film together, period. Like screenplay writing and stuff like that. How did you, kind of focus and is it different than writing general books?
Um, I don't know too well about that because like when I first started doing Dead Prairies Productions, Zombiegeddon 1 we did is me and Bob Taylor wrote it. And then Wendy Lockman, she's like a screenwriter, playwriter. She joined us and then she actually took our script and edited it and made it look a lot more better. If it wasn't for her, we'd probably have a very trashy type film more. She actually cleaned it up, gave more dialogue to the characters. So I definitely learned a lot from Wendy Lockman for the screenwriting.
Mhm.
So then the next film was Swiftheimer's One, and that was like three different writers for different short films. And then I took a chance and wrote myself a film called No Laughing Matter. It's about a clown. And I wrote it, and I was like, this
Oh,
actually turned out really good. I was like, this is my first time doing it on my own, kind of.
that's cool.
And I was like, this turned out really well. And after that, I got kind of hooked to writing more and more. And over the years, even I went back to my old writing um, last week, actually, because I was writing this film. And I looked back at my older writing, and I was like, wow, my dialogue and my like plot, my character development was way more shallow.
Yeah.
And they're like usually about 40 to 60 pages max. And now I'm hitting like high 70s to 90s, and a lot more detail, a lot more maturity, I think, and more creative ideas. I think just because I wrote and matured when I did more writing. And I don't know, I just, it's weird looking back at your older stuff, even filming wise.
Yes.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. My first books, I was getting ready to narrate them. I was going to
Yeah.
narrate my own books, and I'm reading these things and I'm going, Who in the hell thought this was a good idea?" Because I'm looking at it going, I can't believe I wrote this mess. It like mortified me. And I've only been an author, I think, since I've only been an author for a few years, like since 2021, I think. And just I've now written my fifth book. It's at the editor. So I've got my fifth book there. And even she commented and was like, "Oh my God, this is so much better. You've learned so much." And I think when we go back, first of all, we're our worst critics,
Yeah.
anyways. At least that's what my publisher tells me. We're our worst critics. But kind of giving yourself the grace, I think, is kind of important so that you can like understand, okay, I was in this spot and I learned. And as long as you see the progress, that was where I was happy. I was just like, well, at least I'm showing progress. So I think that was important.
That's a good attitude, I find. Like, I have a good friend, he does like music, and
Mhm.
me and him do different things. Like, he's a musician, I'm a filmmaker, writer, all that, but we have very similarities with how we approach things. And we're like, yeah, you grow and learn. If you stop learning, it starts to be not fun anymore. Like, I have kept learning throughout all these years. If it's writing, filming, editing, all these things, I keep learning through every film I do. And it's fun. Like, I think if I stopped learning, it wouldn't be fun for me anymore.
Right.
And
Right.
you need to keep open minded. You have to learn, adapt. You can't stay in the past, or you'll be left in the past, basically.
Yeah. 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 You'll never grow. And
No.
that's, I think, a huge part of being into this. When did you start Dead Prairies Productions?
Our first film for Dead Prairies production was 2012, and that was Zomageddon.
Okay.
Before that one, there's a little bit more behind the history. Before that one, we did a short horror film called Land of Terror, and this is what kind of made Dead Prairies start to begin a thing, right? So me and my friends would do we I wrote this script called Land of Terror back in high school, and I never filmed it with my high school friends. I just had this script just laying there for a few years, and I was like, my friend's like, we should film it. And I'm like, really? Like, let's do it. So yeah, we used my brother's farm. We got my good friends together. We filmed this Land of Terror film, and it was like a 30-minute film about a killer scarecrow. The budget was probably like $50, and it was mostly on duct tape to make a dummy out of the scarecrow, so that for scenes when we hit the scarecrow with the car, it was just like a duct tape dummy thing. And yeah, it was crazy. We used my body for a layout for the duct tape to make a casting of this dummy. and it's cool. It's a lot of fun. It's a good, fun thing. I was like, this is a lot of fun. So then we watched a horror film in my friend's basement called Bachelor Party of the Bungalow Damned, and we watched it. Super cheesy, but I love cheesy movies. No offense to it.
I do too. I
Yeah,
think they're great.
my movies are cheesy as hell, so I can't even say anything. But we watched this. We're like, really? These guys did this film. What's stopping us from doing like a full length horror film?
Right.
So, and then we just like started brainstorming. We thought about doing like a vampire film at the start, but then we're like, how about zombies? Because Walking Dead came out, I think, around that same time, and The Walking Dead was a huge TV show. Zombies were like a big thing again,
Yeah.
and like, let's do a zombie film. And then at the start, we were going to use us as actors, and then us as zombies as too, just to because we didn't know how much people were going to be interested in our films at all. And we made a poster, put it around town with Uncle Sam as a zombie, saying, "We want you."
Love it.
And yeah, it caught a lot of attention, and people kept messaging us. The radio station picked up on it,
Oh my god, that's
CBC,
so cool.
all that stuff, and it blew up. We didn't have to play zombies and actors because we had so much people interested in being a part of the film.
Oh, that's awesome to have the community kind of rally around you. That is so cool.
It was really cool.
I wanted to say Adam, the historian ghost hunter, and I know he's my little booking guy, my little booking agent. Adam said, "Hey, you guys." So,
Yeah, I had a
hey,
blast.
Adam,
I had a
thanks for
blast.
watching. So, what is your goal for your production company? Because I know you guys well, actually, first, hold on. Let me back up because one question I asked, how do you get your people? Are
Okay, yeah.
they are these people I assume are volunteers?
So our people, it's been better. The last few years have been way better for getting people. When we first started, it was a big, big deal because first film in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. So people were like, "Oh my God, there's a film being made here." So is everybody want to be involved some way or shape or form? And then after that, it kind of like went down a little bit the interest because it's like it happens. It happens for everything.
Right, right.
So it tapered down more and more. Me and my friend would go to places, hang out for coffee or go to the bar. I'd have myself a pop or whatever because I don't drink. And then my friend had way more encouragement than me. Would go approach these people and like, hey, you look like you'd be good for a film. And like, oh, this sounds really bad. Uh,
Right.
yeah, like I can't do
Oh,
that.
no, not that kind of film.
Yeah, I was like, we promise it's not that. And we have like these cheap business cards because like we didn't have anything great professional yet.
Right.
And yeah, and then that's how we found people. Like we just meet people in public, like, hey, you want to be an actress or actor? And then like they're down for it, and then they do it, and they're like, that was a lot of fun. And then we
That's so
kept
cool.
gaining more people and more. They tell their friends, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it just blew up more and more each year. And it got to the point where we didn't have to do that. They'd just message us and they're like, can I be in the film? I do like a casting call, and you don't have to have acting experience. That's the best thing about our films is you could be anybody and you have a chance to be in our films because it's less scary. I find if you're like, oh, I'm not going to be a part of it because I don't have acting experience. It's not the case with us because we like to have a variety of people, acting experience or non-acting experience. I really don't care.
Right.
There's no auditions either because I find if you have auditions, you'll have people being scared to come out and just do it just because they're
Yeah.
unsure, right?
Yeah, because they don't wanna hear the truth.
Yeah, or they're scared of their own potential and then they doubt themselves. But when they
Mhm.
actually act, they're phenomenal. I've had a lot of people start off not sure about acting, and they're like one of my better actors now because they kept
Mhm.
doing more and more, and they got more comfortable with themselves.
Now you just got your 16th person for your next film, correct?
Yeah, that's our 16th film, 16th actor for our Silver Screen movie. Uh, this is the film that's been already filmed already. I usually don't say the people's names until the film is all wrapped up,
Oh, okay.
just to build up the release date, just to get more
Right.
attention and all that. It's my little marketing gimmick.
That's nice.
Yeah, everybody deserves their roses too. I think all the actors deserve their own separate little. Hey, this guy was a part of it, or this girl was a
Yeah.
part of it, just to give them their little credit.
I like it. I look at it and I'm like, "Oh wow, that's so cool." And I must say, I love the fact that they're just normal everyday people. I think that
Yeah,
is really awesome and that you're just like, "No, come as you are. We'll figure it out." I think that calms a lot of people because I've always, when I was younger, I always wanted to get into acting because it was the cool thing to do. But I was always so scared to go into an audition because I'm like, oh my God, what happens if I shit the bed? I might just stand there and look at them like I don't remember my lines. What
yeah.
if whatever. So I love that you're just like, no, you want to be in it? Come on over. Let's do this.
Oh, I think it helps, and that's what made us grow even more. Is just
Hmm.
if you're average people, and it
Yeah.
could be you could be an actor too, and you could be involved. But yeah, I've had people in my movies that I never thought in my lifetime would want to act.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
And
give them
that just
credit.
it's so nice. It's so nice to have, people who are just everyday normal people who, hey, that might be my neighbor down the
Yeah.
street, you know what I mean? And it's like and these are movies that aren't going to they're not going to give them a huge ego about it. So they're still going to be normal everyday people. It's not going to ruin them like some people I've seen
Yeah.
where they get to become actors and actresses and oh my god, it's just they turn into something that it even happens in authors. I've seen it happen, which is funny because it's like you're just an independent author, calm down.
I
Um,
I don't get the whole ego thing.
I don't either.
I don't like it. I don't care who you are. Um, you could be like the best hockey player that came into town. I don't care. Like, just be a good person. Just be nice,
Yeah.
and I'll have respect for you. And yeah, I don't, I don't get the ego thing. I'll never understand it. I even for like filming, if I somehow get popular in the future, I will still be that same person. I'll probably still wear the same stuff too.
Right.
Um,
Yep. Give me a t-shirt and jeans. I'm
Oh yeah,
good.
100%. No one would ever know if I'm a millionaire,
Nope.
guaranteed. I'd still dress the same. I probably still have the same house, and like no one would ever know. I might be a millionaire right now, and no one even know.
No one will know. Adam said Adam's bragging. You mailed him his first two films that you did and autographed them. No one
Yeah,
likes a
yeah,
no one likes a braggart, Adam. He's good people.
yeah. He asked me to autograph his things, and yeah, I'm down. Like I'm 100% down for autographing whatever. I said it on his podcast. I said it before. I'll never charge anybody autographs ever.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
never charge anybody photos ever. And
Yep.
yeah, even like 20 years from now, if I make like 20 more films, I'm still not gonna ask for money for autographs or pictures.
No.
It's not gonna be a thing for me. If my actors want to do it, they can do it. That's their
Right.
own little
Right.
thing. But myself, I'll never do it just because I love having those people that want my autograph. Like
Yeah.
that's huge. I still don't understand. Every time they come, like, I want your autograph. I was like,
Yeah,
really?
I'm
It just
humbled by
shocks me.
them. Yeah, I'm humbled by them wanting, "Oh,
Mm.
Jen, I need your book and I need you to sign it." And I'm like, "Really?"
It's
It's
it's a cool but weird feeling at the same time still, because
yeah. It's surreal. But Adam, let me just plug Adam real quick. Adam he is the, owner, CEO. We had him on the show. He's on the YouTube page. Like and subscribe my YouTube page. He is on the YouTube channel, and an earlier, or no, he's on I can't remember if he's already out or not. but let's see. Yeah. Yeah, April 19th was his published date. My brain, I'm doing too much at once. But our published date for his video was April 19th, and he's the owner of the booking Haunted Bookings, where, if you are looking for a promoter of sorts, he's the one who does that stuff. He promotes me, he promotes a ton of other people. He's got filmmakers, actors, actresses, he's got authors, he's got people who are starting really huge podcasts. He's got people who are, just simple people. Every day we're just trying to reach more people. So there's my Adam plug. If you're looking for someone who if you're looking for someone to promote you, Adam is definitely your guy. So just to put it out there. Love you, Adam. But back to you, Damon. So how often are you recording movies and nabbing people? You just got done with this, so I didn't know if it was back to back to back or whenever. How often are you doing these things?
It's whenever, basically. That's another
Mhm.
thing too, is like we don't look at people's experience. We kind of look at their schedule. Like, okay, this person's a lot more open on weekends. So that gives them more of an opportunity to be a bigger part, even, right? Just like
Right.
if you're busy pretty much every day and you might only have like an hour per week, it might be a little bit harder to give you a bigger role.
Mhm.
Nothing against you guys at all, but just is this how it works? It's like we have to have a few days worth of the main actor. And if their schedule doesn't line up too much, it's harder.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
Makes sense. And
scheduling
everybody's got
is
real jobs, jobs that pay
yeah.
the bills.
We're all adults. We're not getting paid for it. We're volunteers, so that's the tricky part is the scheduling. But I think I do pretty well for figuring out the little dots and placements, and it's a lot at the start, but once everything starts to connect the dots, it's pretty awesome.
Do you know Jim? Jim Groves?
Jim. Yeah, he's awesome. He has Porn Movies and Shit podcast.
Thank you for watching.
He's a good guy.
Thank you so much for watching. So, again, this is my first live. So for me, it's my first live in a long time. My first live under this podcast. So, what the hell is a gorfer? Is it a movie? Is it a
Yes.
thing? What is this? Jim, you're educating me. Thank you so much. What's a gorfer?
What's the Gorfer? Gorfers is our one of our more famous series for Dead Prairies Productions. It got released in 2015 for the first one. It's about 35 minutes film, and it's about these mutant zombie gophers that take over the prairies. They're just puppets.
I'm
There's one
so
guy
in.
actually.
I am so in. I want to
Oh,
see this thing.
yeah, it's this guy up here.
Oh my god. And they're even cute, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So it's like a
Oh my god.
yeah.
Yes, I am here for it. I don't thank you, Jim, for bringing that up. I am so here for it. So,
It's a good it is
I want
a
one so
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I know. They're harder to get now. Something I'm glad I held on to these guys.
That sounds like a blast. So, now let's talk about that movie,
Yeah.
Gorfers. When did that come out? How long did it take? I know it's only 35 minutes, but I know editing and all that crap takes a lot of extra time. So give me the deal on the Gorfers.
So Gorfers came out 2015. It's about 35 minutes film. Um it didn't take too long for editing that film, I found. It's it's a good film, and it's weird because when we first released it, no one really watched it a whole lot. We only had about 40 to 50 people show up for the premiere, which is smaller back then. And I was kind of disappointed because I was like, oh, this movie needs to be more attention and all that. And then I made a sequel, Gorfers 2, in 2018 because I was like, I love these little puppets. So I made that one and I gave them a bit more personality. The first one, they just didn't make, they made little noises. We used my
Mhm.
friend's pig. We had the pig squeal, and that was the noise of the gophers.
Okay.
And the second one, we had the pig sounds, but we also had subtitles, kind of like critters and
Oh,
ghoulies and all
what
those
they're
kind of sounds.
saying?
Yeah.
That's
I,
great.
I wanted to evolve them more. I wanted to give them more personality. And this, we made a third one actually called Gorfers The Final Gnaw, which is one of my favorite titles, I'd say. And that, yeah, it's a great title.
It is.
We released that one last year actually, and that became like a big deal. We actually took that one on the road. We went to Regina, Saskatoon, Toronto, Medicine Hat, and all those places that we stopped in, we actually gave the money from our movie event to their animal rescues.
That's amazing.
We made it them because it's their city, right? We want to help out their
Right.
city animals, and the merchandise still went to Swift Current SPCA, stayed to our local SPCA.
Mhm.
But yeah, whatever city we went to, we gave all the money to their animal shelter and helped their shelter out more.
Yeah. And first of all, I love the fact that you do that. I love that because that to me is just Jib said dead prairies are great people. Yes, they are. But I love the fact that you do that. To me, it is so humane. It is so giving back to the community. And it goes to show that you're doing this not for anything but the love of the game. And
100%.
I really appreciate that, because you really are, and if anybody deserves to make it big, it is people like you and everybody on your team because, oh my God, there's so many people don't realize, and I've volunteered at a few animal shelters. They don't realize how much these shelters are struggling. How much, yeah, they're nonprofit, they get grants and stuff like that, but these people they need that money to pay for the vet bills for the animals. Yeah, they have vets on staff, but somebody's got to pay them. These people have bills too. They can't work for free. So I think we forget, the overhead. We forget sometimes animals, they don't get along. So they have issues or their health issues from being mistreated. And that's what a lot of people forget. So I love the fact that you are so into that. Um, and that makes me want to just promote the hell out of you guys just for that reason because of the fact. So I think
Oh,
it's great.
thank you so much. It's um it's the thing I love doing. Animals have been a huge part of my life, even when I was a baby.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been apart without having an animal or a dog or cat. My parents had dogs, they had cats.
Mhm.
When I moved out, I got myself three rescue dogs. They passed all away. I got another rescue dog. He's currently sleeping on the ground right now. He's a Bernese mountain dog, and he has issues with trust because he got mentally, physically abused.
Oh.
But he's a big suck. Once he actually trusts you, he's a huge suck. Uh, Animals have a huge part of my life,
Mhm.
and I combine the whole love for animals and the horror films together, basically. And yeah, that's
That's
it.
amazing. I have 3 German Shepherds, and they're all big babies. You should have heard them this morning when I woke up, and they were, "Roo, roo, roo, roo. Mom's awake, mom's awake." It's just I'm I love them. They're so pure. It's just, don't hurt them because they didn't do anything. But, I keep trying to every time when my German Shepherds annoy me because 'cause they're being loud or something, I'm just like, "Okay, they got the brain of a toddler. They're toddlers, they're toddlers, they're toddlers." I just have to keep reminding myself that. So, but they're good babies. Nobody will love you like an animal.
No, exactly. They're always excited to see you. every
Yeah.
time you come home. They're there as your emotional support. They're there when you're like pissed off, you're happy, sad. They know when you're sad too, like
Yeah.
instantly. Yeah, they're so good. I don't know. There's animals are just so awesome. I love animals in general, like not just dogs. I
Yeah.
love all kinds of animals. I love squirrels. I love
Me
yeah.
too. I had 2 baby squirrels when, I worked at a prison, and they had a wildlife they worked with the wildlife rescue, and they would if they had some orphan babies or something, the inmates would take care of them until it's time for them to be released, and us COs would either release them, or we would, take them home and nurse them, take care of them for a few weeks before they could be released. So ended up taking home 2 baby squirrels. I was waiting for a raccoon. That's when I'm like, "I want the trash panda." I love raccoons. I think they're hilarious, and possums, oh my god, I think they are the cutest thing on the planet. I don't care what anybody says, they're adorable, and they just do so much for the environment, and thank God they eat ticks, and to me, it's just that right there. You eat bugs, I'm okay with you. I'm okay with spiders. I used to have 2 jumping spiders. I love spiders. But, yeah, animals are awesome. Animals are great, and which I find it very interesting that you decided to, implement killing gophers. Dead gophers that are I mean, I guess I could see, like, Cujo, but I guess, yeah, there's good reason for that. Never mind, I retract my question. I just worked through it myself.
Yeah, we did. There's a movie called Zombievers that came out the same year as Gorfers, and I kind of got the idea from that. I was like, prairies is known for Gorfers and farming and all that, so
Mhm.
I was like, perfect. And then yeah, they just became like a fun little personality. They became like our mascot basically. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it
they're
did.
awesome.
So do you, like, have on your shop, do you have, like, where they can buy the little Gorfers?
No, I don't know if even make them anymore. I tried looking up a few years ago because I was like, oh, I should get another one. And I think they were out of stock. I think
Dang
they're
it.
folklore puppets. I think they're called.
Aw, Jim said, "No."
Yeah,
You
I
just
had
killed his dream today.
I had three of them. I have one up there still. And then I got this dude here. And yeah, I had three at the start, but we one of them didn't survive the first movie, so it got
Yikes.
killed. So
A little more than torn apart, huh?
yeah, and I think we gave it away. I think we gave as a prize on
Yeah,
Facebook
that's great
years ago.
memorabilia.
Yeah,
I think that
it's
is really awesome.
but yeah, I'm holding on these guys because they're pretty popular and I love them, and I'm gonna probably use them for like promotion and advertising
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot.
Make
Uh,
some silly commercial with them,
yeah,
"Me, me, me, me."
I
Put the subtitles at the bottom.
I won't be doing another film with them because I made a promise to myself years ago saying I'll never make more than three in a series. That's where I
Okay,
stop.
okay. Why is that?
I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like I think if I go past number three, I would just like be like running ideas or just pushing it just because it's a popular series.
No, I get that, because
So
there's some times where I think people who write more than 3 books, or people who write more than, because, like, my first series that I wrote, I have 4, but it comes from the perspective of 4 different people, so that's why there's 4. But there's some people who have, like, 27 books in their series, and I'm just like, "That's a little much. You
yeah,
really got that much to talk about this universe," and I understand it can go any which way, and that's cool, and I'm not dogging them, but there's a lot, at some point, you gotta just give up the ghost.
yeah. You have to.
So I get it. Yeah, I get it.
I want. Yeah. I want. I don't want to be known just for Gorpers. That's the thing too. Is like when we first started, we were known for Zombiegeddon, and that was like our main one.
Mhm.
And that was what usually people called us, like, "Hey, you're the Zombiegeddon guy." Nothing against it. I loved it. It's
Right.
just I was like, man, it'd be nice to be known for more than just our one film. And I started pushing Dead Prairies Productions as a whole company more and more. And
Mhm.
now we're known for like Dead Prairies Productions now, not just for like one single film,
Okay.
which is awesome. Like we're known for Zombiegeddon, we're known for Gorfers. The Killer Balloon is a popular one too, so it's cool that
Oh
we're having
god.
a variety.
I will say the one I tried to I don't know how old you are, and I may be dating myself, but I tried to watch Chud.
Oh, Chud, Chud, Chud.
I didn't get through I don't think I got through even half of the movie. I maybe made it a quarter of the way before I was like, "Okay, this is way too hokey." And then my other friends are like, "Oh, you gotta watch Rubber." And I'm like, "A tire? A killer tire? It doesn't even have arms." I'm so confused. They're like, "No, it's a supernatural aspect of it." And I'm like, "I can't. I just can't get behind it." And maybe it's because I don't have the imagination for it. So how do you turn inanimate objects into killing machines?
You have to be very, very creative, I think. And I wrote the Killer Balloon more because I thought of ideas that have been done in movies. I'm like, okay, like Rubber. Like, Rubber is a good example. There's a movie about a killer tire.
If you haven't seen it or if you're too young, there is
Yeah.
a movie about a killer tire.
So I was like looking at all these weird movies out there that like what hasn't been done yet. I was like, I don't think there's been like a Killer Balloon movie. So I was like, let's do
I
it.
think that's
And
safe to say.
yeah, and like it remake was quite popular still, and I was like, wait a minute, like I can tie that in with that a little bit. Yeah, no, it became a huge movie. People loved Killer Balloon a lot, and is one of our big movies.
That's hilarious. I can't even imagine. The kind of I'm just gonna say this, the kind of fucked up head you have to have in order to be able to make an inanimate object turn deadly is quite interesting to me. I love the fact that you're like that. And I think that I don't have that imagination because of life, sometimes your creativity gets stifled depending on the road that you go down and stuff like that, and your upbringing. Because
Yeah,
again, my I didn't really have a whole lot of um I don't want to say support because I never tried to write, even though I wanted to be an author when I was 14. I didn't do it until I was 45.
mm,
So, for me, it was one of those things where I was like, "Well, I'll just wait." And I waited and waited and waited, and also because times change now, the independent is coming up and up and up. How do you see that in the movie world and filmmaking where independent films are actually getting more kinda looks, more you guys are getting more notice within the community?
yes, I would say it's been growing more and more this
Mhm.
last year or two. Um, the ones that stick out to me is Terrifier again. Like
Yes.
Terrifier open up a lot of doors for independent people probably because of the series. Terrifier 1 was like $100,000, I think, or 150. Super low budget for that
For
film.
that genre, that type of
Yeah.
film.
And it
I
went to the
can't
city.
believe because it looks like it's done in the '80s or
Yeah.
early '90s. I kinda like it.
It had that gritty look to it. And
Yeah.
it did well. It did really well. And then number two came out and it had a bigger budget, like 250, I think. And that movie like blew up in theaters. It made millions of
Yes.
dollars. And that was a huge deal. Like that was a win for
Mhm.
not just them, but I think the horror community, independent people showing that, wait a minute, I can put a film out there that doesn't cost $1 million and go to the theater and make a lot of money. And that's awesome. I love that they did an amazing job with that. Number three cost them more money, but that movie did the amazing box office as well.
Mhm.
Another film that might not get a lot of love for is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. They had the
I
whole
haven't seen that one.
it's it did really well the first one, and they made a lot of money from the first one, and that's they took their money from that, and now they're making like Pinocchio, they're making Bambi,
Yeah,
and they're bigger
everything.
budgets now.
Yeah, all of them are coming up with some, Disney stuff that you would have been like, the real Pinocchio story, and you're just like, "Oh, no." But I'm I've wanted to see it. I think my buddy, Dungeon Dan, I think he saw the Winnie the Pooh, and
Yeah,
I think he saw another one that had come out, because he does reviews. So I would love to link you 2 up and have him do reviews of some of your movies and stuff, because I think I would love to hear. I mean, because he was one who was like, "Yeah, you should watch Chud. Yeah, you should watch Rubber." I would love to hear what he has to say.
nice.
So, yeah, I would love to get you 2 together, but,
That'd be sweet.
um, I think I think I'm gonna have to have you back on at some other point because 'cause we're out of time.
Nice.
Every time this happens, because I wanted to keep the lives, to an hour because
Yeah.
most people start falling off around 45 minutes. But for you, what is the easiest? Is Facebook easiest to get in contact with you? I know we talked about this at the beginning, but is Facebook easiest to contact you? Because you're in Canada.
Yeah.
You are not in America, so or United States. Sorry, you are American. You're just not. You're Northern American, more northern than the United States. So I know my geography. I swear to God, I do. But you're in Canada, and do you ever get down to U.S.
I went to Vegas and LA the last time. I went to LA
on
actually like two
purpose?
years ago. Oh yeah. I went there just because Static X and Paramount 5000 was playing in LA.
Okay,
Never had opportunity to see Paramount 5000 ever. Been wanting to see them since I was in middle school.
is this a musician?
Yeah, it's a band
Sorry.
from the 90s. And I was like, I was gonna go for Static X, and then I found out Paramount 5000 was playing too. So I was like, oh, I need to go. So I went to two different concerts in LA. I only paid like $25 for Paramount 5000 with like three other bands, which is super cheap.
That is.
Static X was phenomenal to see live. And then I went down for like haunted houses too. So I got to experience more extreme haunted houses. I actually did one that was you had to be above age, you had to sign two waivers, and
Oh
then you had to
shit.
do a video waiver too. I had to do asking, hey,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
allowing you guys to do this to me. So I did that. It was intense. It was really intense. I actually had to run, and then my heartbeat was like really fast just because of running more, not like because I was scared. It was more like
Right.
cardio, I think, just because 1 minute you're walking, next minute you have to run, or else,
Hauling ass. No,
yeah,
thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. I like the more tame, because my husband and I are getting ready to do a convention in LA in September. So I'm a little we're both at first I was the one. I was like all gun ho, yeah, we're going to LA. This is gonna be good convention, because my husband does scratch boards and I write, and I have other like homeopathic stuff like balms and chapsticks and stuff like that. And I make soaps. And we were gonna go, we are going, and the longer it's been since I've signed up, the more I'm regretting it after seeing, some pictures of what LA looks like. Was it icky? I've never
honestly,
been.
no. Like the areas that I went to, it seemed very cleaned up. But I
Okay.
I had a hotel like 2 blocks from Disneyland.
Mhm.
I didn't even go to Disneyland because I was like,
Yeah.
I want the more crazy haunted houses. So if I'm in
You
LA, I
got
want
it.
to get tortured basically. I want to
Well,
feel
it
like I'm
sounds like
over.
you did.
Yeah, I went to like a play. There's a live play, but you're involved with the actors too. It was an awesome time. It was like a haunted
Wow.
house, but live play, and you're involved talking to these actors, and you're going through this like mansion basically, and it
Mhm.
was phenomenal. Like it was so cool to check out.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't like scary, but it's just amazing how much time and effort put into that.
It's an immersive experience, and I think those
Yeah,
are pretty cool, whether they're scary or not.
it was
So,
so neat.
yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on for my very first live under this channel. I appreciate you so much. I want everybody out there to give Devon Oman a check out. Check out him, check out Dead Prairies Productions, check out his Facebook pages. I definitely want to check out his movies because they sound great, especially the gore first.
Yeah, and that.
Hilarious. Hilarious. Adam says, have a great night. Great convo. Awesome show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adam.
And we will see you next time because we are going to have Devin back on because there is plenty more, especially when you come out with Silver Scream. I
Yeah,
definitely want you back on for that.
and then once I actually announce the 18th film too.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna do all of it. I'm there for it. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Adam, for checking in and being a part. Really appreciate you guys. For for folking around. Have a great day.
Thank you. Stay